to my weather forecast. In this video, I will be talking to you about severe weather chances on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. On Saturday this weekend, there is a slight risk and marginal risk for severe weather across much of the middle of the country here, and this is due to a strong storm system moving from western Kansas through western and northwest Wisconsin, and on the warm side, some strong thunderstorms are possible. Now, the tornado probabilities here, this is the Storm Prediction Center's outlook. A marginal risk extends from near Kansas City down through central Missouri, across northern and northeast Illinois, through central Wisconsin, and back into eastern Nebraska, where a few strong isolated thunderstorms could be possible. A higher risk or probability is a slight risk is centered on Iowa, southeastern Minnesota, and maybe far southwest Wisconsin and northern Missouri, also far eastern actually, Nebraska. Now let's look at the probabilities from the Storm Prediction Center here. The tornado probabilities have actually increased a little farther to the east just due to a little more instability being forecast across northern Illinois, north central Missouri, and even south central portions of Wisconsin. A 5% probability of tornadoes is actually centered on central Iowa and maybe far southeastern Minnesota and far southwest Wisconsin. Now, the wind probabilities from the Storm Prediction Center, kind of the same thinking, centered on Iowa with 15% probabilities, with 5% probabilities around that area, and then hail, kind of the same thing. I think the tornado threat, however, even though they have a 2% into northern Illinois, north central Missouri, and south central Wisconsin, I think the tornado threat will still be across mainly central Iowa as these storms kind of initiate and become kind of supercells across central Iowa, around Des Moines, maybe back toward Omaha, and maybe as far east as Iowa City, Cedar Rapids, Dubuque, Iowa, maybe even up towards La Crosse, Wisconsin. Now let's go to the forecast models here. The GFS is showing this very well. You can see a strong storm system develops in western Kansas, moves towards western and northwest Wisconsin. You can see a strong line of storms will develop with this and push eastward very quickly. There will be a strong line of storms across eastern Iowa, maybe getting into far northwest Illinois, southern Wisconsin, and these storms will be moving eastward very quickly, as you can see, because the jet dynamics with this storm system punching right into these storms, so they are going to be moving probably east-northeast about 40 to 50 miles per hour, and non-thunderstorm winds in this area will actually be out of the south-southwest ahead of the cold front, probably about 20 to 30 miles per hour, and wind gusts actually could exceed 40 miles per hour, especially across northern and central Illinois and farther east here into Indiana, Ohio, Michigan, where gusts could even approach possibly 55 miles per hour in a zone from much of Indiana, much of Ohio, and actually much of central and southern Michigan, where there will likely be a wind advisory issued for those areas, and possibly even a high wind warning if this continues to ratchet it up, kind of. And now let's look at the temperature profile here in the GFS. You can see the reason why we're seeing some strong thunderstorms is due to the fact that there's going to be a lot of fuel for these storms, with temperatures reaching the low to mid 60s. I do think this model might still be a little bit underdone with the temperatures. I think we'll still see temperatures in the upper 60s to near 70 up into northern Illinois, southeastern and eastern Iowa, maybe even low 60s up into southern Wisconsin, just depending on how far north that warm front gets. I forecast the warm front to go up into central Wisconsin and southeastern Minnesota, kind of along with the Storm Prediction Center's thinking is. Now let's go to the convective allowing model, or a mesoscale model, to show you kind of the clearer picture for how these storms will initiate. So this is about 6 a.m. on Saturday morning, and all is quiet across eastern Iowa and northern Illinois. And these storms will be initiating probably, I would say, around noon, 1 o'clock across west central Iowa. And once these initiate, they will probably quickly become supercells with all the wind shear in the atmosphere, and then they will kind of grow upscale into a line, and they will push eastward into eastern Iowa, northwest Illinois, south central Wisconsin, maybe a little bit of that line getting into northeast Missouri, and kind of broken farther the south you go into southern Missouri, because not all the dynamics in this area is not as strong. Now, this is about 8 p.m. on Saturday, and you can see the lines approaching the Mississippi River here from Dubuque to the Quad Cities down through Kirksville, Missouri, and then it will be translating eastward with time. And the line will weaken as it pushes into north central Illinois, southern Wisconsin, because the better instability, the better dynamics will be kind of tied into the closer to the area of low pressure here across central and eastern Iowa, kind of going along with that slight risk zone. Now let's go back to the Storm Prediction Center's outlook, and let's go to their day 3 outlook, and you can see severe weather is going to be another chance for that across eastern and southeastern Oklahoma, much of Arkansas, especially north central Arkansas, southeastern Missouri, around kind of the Ozarks type of region, and then a marginal risk here surrounding that with a general thunderstorm risk maybe as far north and east here as West Virginia and southern Ohio. Now, the probability here of severe weather is 15% or marginal to slight risk. So there will be the same kind of threats with this. Large hail up to quarter size, potentially here a couple of tornadoes, and then also damaging winds that could be in excess of 60 miles per hour. And the GFS actually will show that these storms are going to be pushing out of the area for the Saturday, and then another storm system is going to be pushing into the middle of the country. This is tied into another storm system, not the same one we were just talking about. Another storm system right on its heels, and this could produce some stronger thunderstorms to the south. Now, the dynamics with this one is not looking as impressive, I don't think, as Saturday, but still there with some wind shear a few thousand feet up. Winds are around 40, 50 miles an hour, so these storms will still be moving quickly. And, the jet dynamics, I think a little farther misplaced off to the west, but still enough to where there's some lift with this storm. So, and then you can see the surface winds are actually going to be out of the south and southwest, pumping in that Gulf moisture, and you can see those represented by the dew points rising into the low, mid, maybe even upper 60s as far north, as central Arkansas back into northeast Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, western Tennessee. So a little bit of instability is forecast. As you can see, mixed layer cape, not super high, and actually a little higher on Sunday rather than Saturday's system, just due to the fact it's closer to the Gulf and kind of easier to fetch the dew point and boundary layer moisture off of the Gulf than it is to push it as far north into the upper Midwestern regions. So probably around, I'd say about 1,000, maybe 1,200 or so joules per kilogram. So a little bit more instability than on Saturday. However, the wind shear is not going to be there like it was on Saturday. So kind of on Saturday's event will be more of a high shear, low cape environment. Sunday's event here down and across the Arkansas, southeast Oklahoma, northeast Texas will be more of a low shear, high cape or higher cape environment. And you can also see this represented on the GEM model. You can see thunderstorms will initiate probably across eastern Oklahoma, northeast Texas, western Arkansas, probably around 4 o'clock on Sunday, and these will move eastward and grow upscale. Now, the heavy rain threat will probably be focused across southern Missouri, southern, possibly central Illinois, and into portions of northwest Arkansas, where they could see a few inches of rain, probably on the order of 1 to 3 inches. And this also will translate eastward, and you can see a kind of a line of thunderstorms develops here across Arkansas, back in towards Dallas, Texas, Little Rock, back towards Paducah, and up towards some heavier rain potential, not so much severe in nature, but just heavier rain up toward Indianapolis and Louisville. And so there's going to be a couple inches of rain expected in these areas. Temperatures, they're expected to be probably in the mid upper 60s, some lower 70s being found. A very sharp front here, and this is kind of like a stationary boundary pushing from near Dallas to southeastern Missouri, southern Illinois, and across the mid-Atlantic states. And then behind that, a lot of drier, colder Arctic air is going to be filtering in on the system's backside. So for rain amounts here, yeah, like I said, a few inches of rain are definitely possible when all is said and done. This model goes as far as March 7th at 6 o'clock, and you can see at least 2, 3, maybe even 4 inches worth of rain here across southern Illinois, southeastern Missouri, southern Indiana, western Kentucky, and the surrounding area. Still a good dousing of rain. 1 to 2 inches of rain is being expected there, at least on this model. So, and I do think that is going to be the case. I think a general 1 to 3 inches with an embedded 3 to 4 inch total potentially, especially down towards Paducah, maybe towards Louisville, Kentucky, and portions there to the south and west, just north of Memphis and north of Little Rock, with the 3 to 4 inch totals of the rainfall there. So thanks for watching my videos, and continue to watch them. I will update this continuously throughout the week, and please subscribe, as I will be, like I said, updating this throughout the week. I will be talking about the winter side and also looking ahead at another powerhouse storm system that could affect much of the country, in the middle of the country, in the Northeast, as we head into late next week into next weekend. So thank you for watching. I appreciate it, and so long.